Welcome to Quilt Show Reno. We are doing a spontaneous live today, and we have Quiltoni, also known as the Pixel Quilter, also known as Toni Smith. So we're super excited. She's coming to us from Canada, and she's a professional at this, so I am literally going to just turn it over to her. And if you have questions, just type them into the comments, and we will get them answered, of course.
Fantastic. All right. So what do you want to start? You want to start going through the classes or?
I would say while we're waiting for people to kind of log on, why don't you tell us, because I'm super excited to hear how you got into quilting, because it's kind of, not too many people that are younger in the industry. So I always love to see a younger body.
So I am actually not that much younger. I am 49 years old.
That's kind of in the younger bracket.
Yeah, in the younger-ish, but it's because of the pink hair and tattoos and everything. I get 30s a lot because, people assume that. It is, in fact, I get to announce for the very first time, I am turning 50 on Saturday, June the 13th at the show.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Oh, okay. All right. I'm making notes right now.
Yep. So it'll be my 50th birthday. In fact, I was like, whenever we were organizing the show stuff for me coming in, I was chatting with Keegan, who's from the Bernina store. That is actually one of the reasons why I'm coming. And I'm so excited to come to the show. And I told him, I was like, so this is my birthday, right? He goes, oh no, it is the best show in the entire world to have a birthday at, especially that birthday. I said, okay. So
that is true. We do a little bit of partying in Reno. So
that's fantastic.
And what happens in Reno stays in Reno.
Yes. Oh yes. I'm so excited for it. So how I got into quilting. So I my grandmother quilted whenever I was younger, never had any interest. It was the whole thing. Hi, Carolyn. It was the whole, I'm like, why would I want to get into that? It's whatever. And then I went through a divorce. And all of a sudden, I had all of this time and money on my hands because I supported him. And I'm like, what's the most expensive hobby in the world that I can get into to spend this money on? Yeah.
But no, and don't know the answer. You might not be a quilter.
Right? So in all seriousness, it is, I've been designing sprites, and sprites are, if you think of video games, the little characters from from old Atari, Nintendo, the NES systems. I would take characters like that, change them and design them and turn them into cross stitch patterns. And I had these cross stitch patterns and I'm like, I really need something to do with my time. What can I do with these? And I thought back to my grandmother quilting and I'm like, I wonder if I could do that. So I learned to quilt to do exactly what I'm doing right now. And that's pixel quilting. So.
Perfect. Well, that's one of my questions was going to be, what exactly is pixel quilting?
Yes. So it is, if you think of a pixel and if you think of the Google Pixel phone, it is, if you take any picture ever and you zoom super, super into it until you can see those individual little dots, those dots are called pixels. So pixel quilting is basically just using blocks. It's block quilting. The short little history lesson, the original pixel quilts were Eleanor Burns back in the early 80s came out with a book called Cross Stitch Quilts. And that was the first foray into pixel quilting.
Wow. Huh. I'm going to have to go back and research because I've been around that long and I do not remember cross stitch quilts.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then if you think about Bargello quilts, which is actually one of the classes I'm teaching and giving a lecture on, Bargellos are just pixel quilting. Because it's just using those individual little dots and watching the movement. So if you look at old watercolor quilts, all of that stuff is all considered pixel quilting.
Okay. I do remember the huge movement of the watercolor quilts.
Yes. Yep.
That might have been the only quilt that I actually threw away. But in my defense, I was going through a divorce. I was moving. It just kept getting rolled up, and then you'd unroll it, and it was all over the place.
Yep. It is. That is, in fact, one of my best-selling books, the How to Design Pixel Quilts. I actually talk about gridded fusible interfacing, and I'm sure that's what you use for your watercolor quilt, right?
Oh, it was before that.
Oh.
They didn't have fusible, griddable interfacing back in the day. You just you lined them up, hoped they were kind of straight, and hoped for the best.
Well, there's so many better techniques and that's, in fact, the one class that I am teaching is how to design your own pixel quilts. So I will be going through different techniques, different ways that you can actually create it, design it, pattern it, so that you can find the way that fits best with you. My way is I design the patterns so that they can be done in a single day. So my mermaid right here, you can do in one day, because I have major ADHD, and if it doesn't get done, it's not getting done.
Wow, that is quick. So if they learn the technique, because pretty much it's a technique based project. If they wanted to do like a photo of their own, would they?
No photos. So I don't do photos. So what I do is actual design work. So for example, one of the first large quilt that I launched last May is the one behind me. And this is actually this. It's Van Gogh's Starry Night. Yes. Is the quilt behind me. So I take a look at design work of figuring out, actual art with figuring out pixels and things. Photos to pixel quilts are completely different, and you need software for that. And in fact, anyone that's interested in that, I highly recommend you go check out Pixel Quilt, because that is all she does. Dee is just amazing, on top of her game. That's all she does. It's the photos to quilts, period.
Okay.
That's it. So, and she has her own software. So if you take a look at Pixel Quilt, it's a completely different method than the 3 that I teach. It's just because it's more of a, you're cutting out each individual little block. My methods are all about speed, efficiency, and just making sure you get the projects done, kind of thing.
I like that. I don't want to go home with a UFO.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Now, you are going to have some UFOs in my classes. It's a lot of technique classes, lots of things like that. But you will be able to get it all done within a day from the time you get home. Perfect.
Okay, so let's just go over the schedule real quick for those who are we have several that are like mapping what they're going to sign up for. Classes will be going live on Black Friday. I heard that there might be a sneak release on Thanksgiving. In case you're bored, check out Quilt Show Reno website. But your first class is going to be Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pixel Quilting Basics. What does that exactly mean?
So the Pixel Quilting Basics is basically just taking a look at my patterns. You can pick the pattern lines. I know we're going to have some choices. I think the mermaid, my T-Rex, a couple of the others are probably going to be some options where we give you the kit. We pre-cut the strips for you to make it more efficient so you can get sewing right away. And depending upon how fast you are, if I know we're sewing on the sergers in my room, so it won't be as fast as my VO8 that's 1,600 stitches a minute. But if you're a fast sewer, you actually may get the top done within that day. And after you sign up, if it doesn't ask you to pick a kit, if you want to guarantee that you get one of my patterns, just let the show know. Or if you want to email me directly, be like, hey, I signed up for your class. You can email me at Toni@quiltoni.com, and I'll make sure that kit is ready for you.
Perfect. So they've got a lot of flexibility and options in all of your classes, I believe, for the project they pick.
Absolutely. And in fact, I think right now I have 16 pixel patterns. Now, of course, you can't do the Starry Night. That is a double-sized quilt. So it's a bit larger, a bit more intense. But any of the lap size quilts are the ones that we're going to be doing that day. But you can definitely understand how to do that one, so you could do it.
Perfect. So they're going to do kind of a more basic, smaller project, but they'll have the techniques. They'll be able to purchase the Starry Night pattern and go home and make that.
Absolutely.
In a day.
Now, they can't do Starry Night in a day, but they can do all the laps in a day.
Okay.
No, Starry Night is, depending how fast you sew, between 3 and 6 months.
Okay. Every day?
Depending upon how fast you sew.
Okay.
The pieces are 3/4 of an inch.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Okay, then the next class you're going to be teaching is on Wednesday. Well, it's actually a lecture from 8 to 9. And it's the Bargello quilt technique. So what will we learn in that lecture?
So we're doing 2 different Bargellos. The second Bargello is actually going to be a Saturday all-day class from 8 to 3. The whole reason why we did a lecture and a class is some people may be able to do one but not the other. So what we're going to be doing in that lecture is we're taking everything from the class, and I'll be demonstrating and showing you and teaching, but you don't get to do anything hands-on. So you'll still learn all the techniques. You'll still learn everything that we're doing on the Saturday, learn to design and make your own Bargello quilt. And in fact, it's not just making a Bargello quilt. I'm going to teach you the ins and outs and whys behind Bargellos. So by the time you finish the lecture or the class, you'll be able to go and design your own. So it'll be fun.
So as in any kind of a design?
Any kind of design. You will be able to, once you understand, and the biggest part with Bargellos is if you take a look at a pattern, if you've never made one before, and you look at a Bargello pattern and you're like, oh, that's so complicated with all those numbers. It's hard to read what is going on with it unless you understand why that is laid out the way it is. So that's the first thing we do, is that we go through, this is how you read the patterns. This is what you do. But this is then how you can then create your own using graph paper, an Excel spreadsheet, anything you want, basically.
Perfect. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You're going to make Bargellos easy for those of us who, I have made 2 Bargellos in my life, but I can't say they were super easy, but maybe if I understood the basics, then it would click in my head.
Yeah. And then you can take a look at them and go, you know what? I really like that. And you can take a pattern and go, oh, but I want to change it this way. I want to have 4 colors instead of 3. Let's add in this and let's move this, and it'll be easier to adapt and change.
Wow, I like that. My own thoughts. Okay, I like that. Okay, then the next one you have is Wednesday from 6 to 10 p.m. English paper piecing basics. So this is kind of a nice one because they don't have to have a machine.
Nope.
They literally are just going to sit down and do some hand sewing with you.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite classes. So I teach a lot at pop culture conventions. I teach at Gen Con, Dragon Con, a bunch of anime shows. And I actually bring sewing machine rooms to the nerd conventions, basically. But I also teach a lot of hand sewing. And this class is one of my favorites because it is just a sitting around and chatting with your friends kind of class, where if you haven't learned English paper pieced before, it's a lot of fun. It is something, as long as you have some fine motor skills, and that's the only drawback to this class, is you have to be able to hold your hand like this for at least 10 minutes and not have it cramp up. If you can do that, you absolutely can English paper piece, and it's a lot of fun.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, then the next one, and you've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but just so people have the dates, we have Thursday from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's an all-day class. Design your own pixel quilt pattern.
Yes. So that is one where if you have an idea of something, so that's the only thing I ask, is that you come to class with an idea, not a photo, because you're going to go to Pixel Quilt for that one. But for like, hey, I want to do a caricature kind of thing of my dog or my cat, or, ooh, I had someone one time do a landscape. I had someone do the scene from, and actually kind of like cartoon and characterize it from Labyrinth. At the end, where the Goblin King and her were dancing, it was a super cool quilt. I've had Doctor Who stuff. There's all sorts of cool things. Basically, just think of a basic thing that you want to do, and I will show you how to pixelate it out. So you don't even have to do the design work. I will help you with that. There's programs, there's designs. So you figure out how to do all of the design work. And then I help you figure out colors. And then we take a look at the fabrics that you brought. And this is the best part, is once we get into actual sewing and cutting, it is so much fun with everyone looking around going, "Ooh, I didn't bring a brown. Does anyone have any extra brown? Oh, you have that fabric." And there's lots of fabric trading. There's running to the floor to pick up an extra fabric. It's just, it's a fun class. I really, really enjoy it. And by the end of class, you'll have your pattern done, and hopefully you'll have your fabrics and you'll have started sewing.
Perfect. So just because I'm a blonde, if my daughter loves Harry Potter, or my grandkids love something specific like Barbie or something, I could come in with an idea of, hey, I really want to make a quilt for this grandchild or for this kid, and you would be able to help us come up with the design.
Exactly. And if you want to have a great idea, like if you want to have a general idea of what it's going to look like, because it's not going to be a photorealistic. Remember, this is just more of like this stuff, like for my mermaid. So if you just look at if you type in Harry Potter pixelated, then you can see all the cool ways that people are able to pixelate that out. Wow. And that's what I do, is I can help you figure out a way to get it pixelated, but then design it in a way that makes it your own. So not just stealing something, unless you have someone that loves Minecraft. And in that case, you're just going to take their character, which, by the way, if anyone has any children or grandchildren that are obsessed with Minecraft, hint, make sure you get a screen grab of their character, because they will love that. If you create a quilt of them, their Minecraft character, and that's something hard to grab once you're already at the show.
Okay, perfect. And then the other class you're doing is Saturday from 8 to 3, learn the bedazzled quilt technique, which you've kind of covered already.
Yeah. Now, and this one, it's a lot of fun. We actually take a jelly roll, and you create a bargello yourself. If you sew fast, you'll have it done. There won't be anything else to do. But if you don't get it finished, you will have all of the processes. You'll understand everything, and you'll be able to go home and get it finished within a day.
Perfect. So for those of you out there who are looking for projects that you can actually finish, this would be a great one to sign up for. And you're learning a lot of techniques. So I just love the idea of technique-based classes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Toni, do you have, I know you're going to be in Going Baddie's booth. When you're not teaching, you'll be there so people can stop by, talk to you. But you do have a Canada sticker on your Bernina there.
I do.
So I'm guessing you are from Canada. You're coming all the way from Canada to our show on your 50th birthday. That is like pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, it should be a lot of fun. And I am going to have a pattern launch as well, just before the show. So do you want to see a sneak preview?
Yes, we do. We love sneak previews.
Okay, so as you know, this was the first, larger quilt that I did. And this was actually, a lot of people asked for something that was larger, more complicated, because honestly, anyone can do these patterns. A 10-year-old can do one of these patterns. They cannot do this. This is a lot more complicated. And this is what people are looking for once they've graduated all the things that I've done. So we decided we are going to do a art series of larger quilts and larger things. And of course, I'm a huge nerd. I don't know if you figured that out already. A huge nerd. So I have to look at the nerdy art things first. So of course, this one, do you know why this is a nerdy type art thing?
No, because I love it, and I can't necessarily say I'm a nerd.
For Doctor Who.
Okay.
Because there was a Doctor Who episode where the TARDIS actually all about Van Gogh, and the TARDIS flew through Starry Night.
Oh, interesting. My daughter's pretty nerdy. I'll have to maybe for Thanksgiving we can research it.
Is your daughter an anime nerd?
Not too much.
So if anyone has any anime nerds, that's the next pattern. And this is actually what I am working on behind me on my my table right here with all of my stuff. So this is a Japanese painting. It's called The Wave. It is a super famous, amazing painting, almost on par with Starry Night, with the obsessiveness.
Right.
And all the anime nerds know this because just like Starry Night was used in Doctor Who, this painting is used in a lot of the animes.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to look into this.
And
It's
the
like a whole nother world.
coolest thing ever is the fabric that I've chosen for this. So I have chosen a fabric that has tinsel that runs through it. I don't know if you can. No, you can't see it.
No.
No, so it has silver tinsel that runs through it, and I will make sure that I bring this pattern, the actual finished quilt, with me to the show, and it'll be the first time I'm going to show it off after
Perfect.
the.
So then, will you have
launch.
kits available also?
I don't think I will, although I will talk to Going Batty and see if they're able to make kits for that.
Okay, because I feel like you're going to need the fabric with the tinsel in it.
Right? It is it's a Benertex fabric. I don't know hey, I just looked over and I have another one right here. It is the Superior Luxe. So you see how there's tinsel in that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's what the white does, is it has the tinsel with it. I'm like, oh wait, I had some.
So it will grab the light just perfectly.
Yes. Hi, Lynn.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions, you can type them in now or you can type them in later. We will get them. And Toni will be teaching at Quilt Show Reno Tuesday through Saturday. And when she's not teaching, she will be in the Going Batty booth, which is actually going to be right when you walk in the door at the show.
Yeah.
So are you going to be do you have any plans? I know it's a little bit early still, but do you have any plans for what you'll be doing in the booth?
All I know is that I'll be doing demos. So so people can come and they can play on the sewing machines, they can test them out. We're gonna have one of these babies here. So this is a sewing machine that's actually made by Burnett, which is a company that Bernina owns. Burnett is more of the machines that do a job. The machines that they have a couple of machines that are more affordable for those that are looking for travel machines, for retreat machines, or if they want to get a younger person involved, they got machines for that too that aren't that expensive. This one's a little expensive though, because it's a semi-industrial machine. It is, and you'll have a chance to sew on this. This is the one, it's a straight stitch. That is it. Only one stitch straight. It's meant for bag making, garment making, cosplay, things like that, to where if you have to go through lots of layers, so it can go through 6 layers of leather like butter, vinyl, all sorts of cool things. So if you want to play with it and sew through a bunch of different things, I know I'm going to be doing that at least.
Wow. Well, and I think a lot of us have quilting machines, but we really don't have an industrial machine, and we really don't have access to an industrial machine because they're not what the local shops typically carry. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and it's a semi-industrial, so you can take it with you. So it is, it's 45 pounds, so it's a little heavy. But an industrial machine is inside of a cabinet table, and you cannot move that thing. It is there permanently.
Okay.
They have to come to you to service it, but this is portable, so you can take it with you if you need to.
Perfect. Okay, is there anything else you want to add? I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you've got other live streams to do later this afternoon.
Yeah, in fact, one of the reasons why we're doing this so early today and not at the normal time is because normally I live stream on my own channels during this time. So every Monday night, I actually live stream on Twitch. If you haven't heard of Twitch, have you heard of people that can play video games for money?
I have heard it. I think my kids wanted to do that at one point in their life.
And that's how they do it. Yeah, they do it on Twitch. So that's how people can make money, is they stream on Twitch playing the video games. But they also have a large area of creative. And in fact, I am one of the creative founders. So I'm one of the people that whenever someone first starts streaming creative on Twitch, I hold their hands, I help them along. And so tonight, I'm actually going to be working on the wave. It's the very first time I'm ever going to be announcing. So technically, I announced it here first. Um,
Yay!
so I'm going to be announcing it tonight on my Twitch stream that, hey, this is the next pattern. And then I'm going to be working on the actual pattern and doing the first few rows and the layouts and stuff on the stream.
Perfect. So I am not a Twitch user.
Yeah.
So what, for those of us who, are a little bit limited in our technical abilities, how would they find you on Twitch?
So imagine Twitch is just like if you were watching YouTube or TV, but it's only live. So you don't go back and watch recorded videos. You don't watch tutorials like you do on my YouTube channel. Twitch is absolutely free, Lynn. You just go to Twitch. So on any device that can do streaming, because it is a streaming service, you have to go to twitch.tv. And then if you do /Quiltoni, Quiltoni, just one T, just like my right there. Yeah, right there.
I actually had to look it up because I wasn't positive.
Yeah. So yeah, you just go. So you can do it on your computer. I have people joke all the time. Hey, you're on my TV. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit scary sometimes when you really think about it.
Yeah.
On their 85-inch TV.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
it's funny. So before the shutdowns, before COVID, I actually used to be on in a lot of quilt shops, because what would happen is I would stream during the day at certain times of the day, and quilt shops that would carry my patterns would actually have me up on their TV. And then if someone had questions on the patterns, they could just come to the quilt shop, and then look up and then type in and ask me questions while I'm live on the patterns right then and there.
Perfect. Perfect.
But of course, now it's just Monday nights and Thursdays. Although this Thursday I'm going to be in Ottawa, capital of Canada, because I'm doing a big Black Friday event at a store out there. So no stream Thursday, but this Monday.
Oh, because it's not your Thanksgiving. I'm like, aren't you eating turkey? But it's not your Thanksgiving.
Nope. Our Thanksgiving was in October.
Right.
So yeah, so it's tonight and then next Monday. So it's 6:00 Eastern time, 3:00 Pacific time. Next Monday, I'm deviating a little bit because I do a lot of charity work. In fact, this arm of tattoos is all of my charity art. I have zero say to what goes tattooed on this arm.
Okay.
So if once I raise, so like there's St. Jude. So any charity I raise money for, once I raise at least 5,000, they get their logo on me.
Wow.
And then like there's Give Kids the World down in Florida. And then every $5,000 I raise after that unlocks a heart. And if someone donates 500, they then decide what goes on my arm.
Oh, so that's pretty exciting.
That's my friend's face.
Okay. Well, I mean, who doesn't need that on their arm?
Right. So next Monday, I'm actually doing a charity event where I'm going to be decorating a gingerbread sewing machine. So it's a big gingerbread contest that one of the charities that I'm an ambassador for is having. And they said, oh, it doesn't have to be a house. You can do anything. And I'm like, really? So I'm making a gingerbread sewing machine.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So you're going to build the whole sewing machine out of gingerbread.
Yes. Yeah. So I've got the pieces made already because I leave in 2 days for Ottawa for that event. Yeah. So I've got the gingerbread baked. So on Monday, I will be decorating the separate panels so that once that dries, and then next Thursday, December the 4th, I'll be actually assembling and decorating the final thing.
Oh my God, we're going to have to tune in. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lynn wants to know if you can type in the Twitch address. I would type it in, but I'm not that smart.
All right, why? I connected, but now it's saying I can't type it in. Continue. Yes.
If you say it, I can type it in.
Okay, so it's Twitch so it's just like that, TWITCH .TV /Quiltoni.
Okay, I think I got it right.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. There it is, Lynn. So you can write that down. Okay, so is there anything else you want to add, or if you guys have any questions, now's your chance to get it instantly. Otherwise, you can type it in at any time, because this, once you put it out on the internet, it's there forever.
Yep.
Or at least until they feel like deleting it.
Yep. Okay, so where can I see the recording of this so that I can go back through and answer questions if I see additional questions?
It's on Quilt Show Reno, Facebook and YouTube.
Wonderful. Okay, so I've got to look at them both.
Yep.
In order to start doing all that. And then I also have a youtube.com/Quiltoni.
Okay, wait, hang on. I'll type that in. YouTube. I'm not that techy. YouTube.
Yeah. .com/Quiltoni.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you. And then, so if you, for some reason, if you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to know all of this stuff that she's teaching, but I can only make it to this other class. If you can't make it to all my classes, I have YouTube tutorials for them for every single one.
Perfect.
Because I learned the hard way. When you're at a show, you're having so much fun, but your brain is being assaulted by so many things. You're not going to remember 100%. Yes, exactly.
For sure.
Now, and I always suggest, I love YouTube tutorials, but I always suggest in person and then going back and watching those YouTube tutorials for the refresher.
Right.
In order to remember, oh yeah, that's right. We did this thing.
Right. Right. Perfect.
Yeah. We'll have a lot of fun, Lynn. It'll be a lot of fun.
Lynn, I don't know if you were on when Toni said that Saturday is her 50th birthday at the Quilt Show. So Lynn is actually one of our crew, and so Lynn, you might have to plan a surprise, not so surprise party. Okay.
Yeah. My 50th is the 13th.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting.
It's funny. I told my husband that I was going to Reno for my birthday, and he says, "Okay, so what are you celebrating? What are you doing before, after, what?" I'm like, "Well, I was thinking about going on a Disney cruise before, maybe like the week before I go out to Reno." And he looks at me and says, "Do I have to go?" I'm like, "No, I would invite my friends." He goes, "Okay, I'll pay for it."
Oh, perfect. Oh my God, that's the best.
Right?
That's the best. Yeah.
Yeah. This is how you know my marriage is a great one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my husband he needs to talk to your husband and get some tips.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, his whole thing is, as long as you don't force me to go and do this thing, then I am totally okay with paying it for you. You do not have to pay for it out of your money.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you do go on a Disney cruise and you post it so we can live vicariously through you.
Yes. And then I will bring pictures and talk all about it at the show if you want.
Sounds good. Good. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And the classes will go live on Black Friday, possibly Thanksgiving, for those of you who want to make sure you get into the classes you want to get into. And we will see you. We will be streaming tonight, this afternoon at 3:00. We do have Cindy Myers, Linda Hahn, and oh my God, I should have had my I totally should have had my notes here. Okay, hang on a second. Give me a second. And Gina Perks. How could I forget Gina? Okay, so join us at 3:00. We will see you soon. And thank you so much, Toni, for taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you at 3:00.